We went for a meal and they kept us waiting.
All right, then. We are here in Oslo for the Celebrating Dissent 2024. We have a very special guest. Sohail is here. He's the chairman of the ex-Muslim in Toronto, Canada. First of all, Sohail, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you around. Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
My first question would be how you see this, like the whole conference. You, as a person who fights for secularism or the ex-Muslim movement in Canada, how important is it to have such a seminar all around the world, including Oslo?
Well, I think it's important because all of our groups often feel isolated in our own countries, and this helps remind us that we're all connected through a common narrative of our experiences leaving Islam, building support communities. So I think it rejuvenates us, reminds us of the mission, and for some of us in countries like Canada, where our struggles are pale in comparison to what other people are going through, it reminds us that we often are the voices of people in other countries who can't speak, and to keep the activism alive, not just the local support communities.
And how you see the ex-Muslim movement in Canada? Like you've been talking, you have a very interesting panel talking about racism,
Right.
and the term Islamophobia was mentioned. How you see the ex-Muslim movement going on in Canada? Let's just be focused on Canada, Toronto, the place that you live in. How strong
Right.
is that?
Well, I think Canadians are known for generally being polite and non-controversial, and I think in that way, a lot of our own members are very much not trying to create controversy. So the ex-Muslim movement in Canada is one that's not very public-facing. It's more about just supporting people who don't believe. Now, Islamophobia is a term, of course, that's used a lot in Canada, and I think that the few of us who do speak up publicly, we do try to correct people and say, look, let's use the term anti-Muslim bigotry. It's such an uphill battle to correct that terminology and that thinking, but it is a problem that I think more with that terminology than with the actual anti-Muslim bigotry. That being said, there have been Muslims who have targeted. There'll always be fringes, but I think the mainstream experience is one of integration and acceptance. So I think if other countries can be more like Canada, we'd all be in a better position, ex-Muslims included.
Last question, talking about the ex-Muslim of Toronto, do you have any upcoming events interesting, or how can people communicate with you, specifically the ex-Muslim living in Canada?
Right, so if we have ex-Muslims visiting us, we often encourage you to get in touch with us, and we can host meetups so you can join us. Everything that we do so far has been private or private with invite of friends. We haven't done any public conferences or speaking events yet. Everybody's really focused on just supporting one another. But I think in the future we will move on to doing things to raise public awareness. I would love to host a celebrating dissent sometime in the future.
Toronto. That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time indeed. Yeah.